Honorable colleagues, since we last convened in these chambers, there have been developments in the public space that concern us. We have witnessed across the country a recognizable uptick in crime manifested through activities of bandits, destroying communities, kidnappers operating for profit, and insurgents seeking to remake our world in the image of a discredited theocracy. All people of conscience mourn the loss of a reverend and a senior member of the Christian Association of Nigeria in Adamawa State, Mr. Lawan Adimi, a good and honorable man who through the church and in his personal capacity served the people of his community, earning their reverence and our collective gratitude. In the midst of our mourning, our hearts were broken once more by the release of a video depicting the gruesome assassination of Mr. Rockville Daleb Dacia, a student from Plateau State who was abducted by suspected Boko Haram terrorists on his way back to school at the University of Maiduguri. God forbid that it is now our nation's fate to live forever under the threat of abduction and murder. What gaps and weaknesses continue to exist in the national security infrastructure that makes us more susceptible to the machinations of those who seek to achieve wealth and power through brutal violence? How do we achieve for all our people a just and honorable peace? These questions are never too far from my mind, and I know that it is the same for you too, because often it is you who are at the front lines responding to the concerns of constituents who have themselves been victimized and those who fear that the moment of their own affliction is only a matter of time and circumstance. Honorable colleagues, this House will shortly take action to put these questions before those agencies of our national security, to whom our Constitution and other legislation have granted the powers and the resources to ensure the safety and security of all our people. Our cup of endurance has run over, and we are no longer willing to labor under these dark clouds of random violence inflicted upon our people by faceless cowards whose ends we do not understand and whose means we do not know. Overcoming our overwhelming national security challenges now requires of us all that we will be willing to accept. Now requires of us all that we be willing to accept new approaches and consider novel ideas. Neither the security institutions nor political leaders can afford to hold on too tightly to a status quo whose frustrating limitations are painfully evident, whilst reflexively rejecting innovations that may improve our fortunes if properly implemented. Recently, the governors of Lagos, Ogun, Osun, Ekiti, Oyo, and Ondo states took action to implement a regional security network to support the efforts of the Nigerian police force in preventing crime and protecting the lives and property of those our citizens who live, work, and travel through those states. The establishment of Amotekun as a network is called has met with commentary from across the country, both for and against. Too often, it has seemed to me that lost in these interactions is the hard, brutal, and unavoidable fact that Amotekun and other such state or zonal interventions that already quietly exist in other parts of the country are a desperate response to the vile manifestations of insecurity that trouble the lives of citizens, depriving them of the peace and security that gives life meaning. I do not know that Amotekun, or whatever iterations of it may follow, represents the ultimate or perfect solution to the problem of insecurity in our country. Nobody knows. Nobody knows that. What I do know, with absolute clarity and certainty, is that the localized manifestation of insecurity across the different parts of our country call for unique and localized approaches that take those peculiarities into account. What I also know is that whichever approach we seek, we are obligated to work within the limits imposed by the Constitution, to which we all swear allegiance. Above all else, I am certain in the knowledge that doing nothing is not an option. We have a responsibility as legislators to support the best efforts of those who act with noble intent to protect our citizens. I therefore call on the Leader of the House and the Minority Leader to take active steps to bring to the floor appropriate amendments to the Constitution that will ensure that these and other righteous interventions to protect the life and property of our citizens are firmly in compliance with the laws of the land.